Hi, good evening. Today we'll discuss lack of exchangeability in Ind AS 21, the recent amendment. So when do we say the currency is exchangeable and when the currency is not exchangeable? So there is a two-step approach for stating whether a currency is exchangeable or the currency is not exchangeable. So first step is whether the currency is exchangeable into another currency at a measurement date for a specified purpose. If the currency is exchangeable in another currency at a measurement date and in specified for the specified purpose, then it will be called as exchangeable, and provisions of Ind AS 21 would be applicable to that currency. In case the currency is not exchangeable into another currency at a measurement date for a specified purpose, then we'll have to estimate the spot exchange rate by using an observable exchange rate or using by another estimation technique as specified in this index. When do we say the currency is exchangeable? When the person is able to obtain the another currency within a time frame through a market mechanism in which the exchange transaction would create enforceable rights and obligations. Exchangeability of a currency is assessed at a measurement date for a specified purpose. Whether euro is convertible into bolivar, the Venezuelan currency, is an example of exchangeability. Uh, the euro is not convertible into bolivar, Venezuelan currency, hence it is not exchangeable. So it is in case for medical supplies, the payment or payment of dividend, either of the two, if the currency is exchangeable for medical supplies payment, but it is not exchangeable for payment of dividend, then it will be considered as exchangeable for medical supplies and non-exchangeable for payment of dividend. So these are just an examples of exchangeability of the currency. Medical supplies payment or payment of dividend is an example of exchangeability of currency. A currency is not exchangeable into another currency if an entity is able to obtain no more than an insignificant amount of another currency at a measurement date for a specified purpose. Example to be given: A Limited has Bolivar as functional currency and has trade payables and long-term foreign currency borrowings in euro. Government of Venezuela has allowed the following: up to 1 lakhs for imports and up to 50,000 for foreign currency loans, right? And A Limited has 70,000 for trade payables and 10 lakh for foreign currency loan. Hence, A Limited is able to discharge the liability for trade payables but not able to discharge the long-term foreign currency loan. Hence, it is exchangeable for trade payables but not exchangeable for long-term foreign currency loans. Hence, it will apply Ind AS 21 for the first purpose, the normal provisions of Ind AS 21, and would estimate the spot exchange rate for the second case, that is foreign currency loan. It will estimate the spot exchange rate and convert the same into the currency. In this conversion, if a third currency is to be used for the purpose of conversion, that is also possible. Let's say, for example, euro to bolivar, the direct conversion is not available. Euro has to be converted into US dollars, and US dollars will be converted into bolivar. If that conversion is possible, then spot exchange rate using this mechanism can be determined for the purpose of exchangeability. So these are some of the examples of exchangeability of the currency. Now, to assess the currency exchangeability or not, the following factors needs to be considered: time frame, time frame in which the currency is exchangeable. Normal administrative delay in exchangeability of the currency is fine. If there is no abnormal administrative delay, then the currency would not be exchangeable. Ability to obtain the currency and not the intent. There should be ability to obtain the currency and not only the intent. Enforceability of the transaction. The transaction should be enforceable, and indirect conversion is also possible. We gave an example of indirect conversion: euro to USD and USD to bolivar. So indirect conversion is also possible. Market mechanism for conversion. For enforceability of the transaction. What is the market mechanism for the conversion? Currency is exchangeable for the specified purpose. If the currency is used for a particular purpose, let's say for example trade payables or foreign currency loan, so it is either of the two purpose if it is used, then it is convertible into specified purpose. Ability to obtain no more than insignificant amount of other currency. There should be ability to obtain a significant amount of currency in the conversion. If an insignificant amount of currency is not converted, then it may be ignored and currency would be considered as exchangeable. If a significant amount of currency is not exchangeable, then it is considered as non-exchangeable currency. A Limited has function currency of the country, and regulatory authority requires 7 days to exchange on application requesting why and for what purpose. Assume 7 days period is normal administrative delay. If yes is the answer for normal administrative delay, then the currency would be considered as exchangeable. If no is the answer for the purpose, then it will be considered as non-exchangeable. Regulatory authority of the country does not make the foreign currency available for certain period of time, hence it is not exchangeable. Individual resellers exchange the currency which is not determined by the regulatory authority, and these transactions do not create enforceable rights and obligations. Hence market mechanism does not exist. Hence it is confirmed that the currency is non-exchangeable. So if the individual resellers have the ability to convert the currency, but they do not create enforceable rights and obligations, then the currency would not be considered as exchangeable. If the individual resellers create enforceable rights and obligations, then the currency would be considered as exchangeable. Purpose of the exchange. Let's say for example the currency is exchangeable for food supplies and medical supplies, and A Limited has an extension in this country. It is a foreign entity, and the balances of the foreign entity are to be converted into. It is an extension of the foreign operations, and the balances of the foreign operations are to be converted in the functional currency of A Limited. In that case, the presentation, the conversion is required for presentation purpose. That is for the purpose of net assets or net investment in the other country. So this does not meet the criteria of food supplies or medical supplies. As it does not meet the criteria of food supplies and medical supplies, the currency would not be considered an exchangeable, and a spot exchange rate would have to be determined without restrictions. If without restrictions, it can be determined. Otherwise, the manner which is specified in this illustration would have to be used. These are the example of exchangeability of the currency. Then another example for ability to obtain insignificant amount of currency for a specific purpose is trade payables and long-term foreign currency loan. The example which we discussed prior to this. So for specified purpose means that the purpose for which the currency is exchangeable is specified, and it is specified by the regulatory authority. So, if example trade payables up to 1 lakh would be allowed as exchangeable, and if the entity has trade payables of 70,000, then it will be considered as exchangeable. If the trade payables are 1,20,000 and the regulatory authority has allowed trade payables up to 1 lakh, then the currency would not be considered as non-exchangeable. And and the example of long-term foreign currency borrowings. If long-term foreign currency borrowings are allowed up to 50,000 and the entity has long-term foreign currency borrowings of rupees 10 lakhs, then the currency would not be considered exchangeable. So if the currency is not exchangeable, the spot exchange rate has to be determined. And